So we're going to be covering things like, okay, how do I create the vision for the future? How do I get that done? And what does that even mean to me? And then how do I going to create my personal and business plan for the upcoming year? Now we're talking about 2017 in this case, but certainly that's true in any time that you do this. And then the real magic, in my opinion, is look, everyone talks about goals, everyone talks about vision, but the thing that really separates Sandler from all the rest is that Bob's going to show you how to create a behavioral cookbook. And I've always believed Sandler, we are behavioralists. We will teach you certainly the words that you should use and the techniques and all that stuff. We're also going to teach you how to think, all the attitude stuff. But the real magic, in addition to that, is the third leg of the stool, which is the behavior. And that's really what makes all the vision and all the personal and business planning come to life. And so we're going to experience that as we go through the process here today. So have a little patience, because I said this is like a 2-day course. We're going to get it done in an hour, and we're going to do it through the eyes of one of our top trainers, Bob Sinton. So Bob, walk us through the process.
Well, I'm glad you went to the next screen, Dave, because I took a couple notes while you were talking. And I know we have less than an hour, and I think to have a big impact with the folks that are listening in. And again, I want to tell everybody it's my pleasure and honor just to be on this call with you. Unfortunately, though, I have to give all the credit to a guy I met a long time ago. Guys, I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I was a struggling contractor. And when I heard goal setting from David Sandler, and then soon after Dave Mattson and the other Sandler coaches over the years, I said, here we go again. I've been to 1,000 or 100 or a dozen goal setting programs. And for some reason, the hook for me was what the difference in Sandler training was, how it helped me transform my life. So I followed pretty much step by step the things that Dave Sandler did. And the screen we're looking at right now, folks, is we put 12 steps together. And the 12 steps is what I was first taught by David Sandler and then Mattson and the other Sandler trainers over the years to really separate yourself from goal setting. The biggest missing link is what you see right there on number 1. Most people say, hey, I want to make more money. We all know that by itself, money doesn't motivate anybody. So what I learned over 20 years ago initially was, Bob, what's your cut and paste? What's your motivation? What's your vision board? So I'm actually, I don't know if David, you know this, or the people at Sandler, but I was actually going to share on these PowerPoints my actual current 2016, what I'm living in right now. And if this was after December 16th, which is our 1-day cut and paste I'm doing for my own employees, we would have my new 2017 cut and paste. So I've been doing this for well over 25 years. And without this program, number one, I wouldn't be where I am in life now, and I wouldn't be talking to these honored guests like we are today. And I'm going to go through these slides, and every one of them are represented on my actual cut and paste, my actual program to helping everybody that's listening in achieve what they want to achieve if they feel there's room for improvement. So I'm going to explain in a couple minutes what a cut and paste is, and everything else there is self-explanatory, Dave. For number 2, the top 10 reasons why I love my life, why I enjoy what I do. We're going to go through personal and business goals with certain slides. My complete cookbook, which is David Sandler's word from the old days, David, as you remember,
Yep.
Your recipe for success. A quick SWOT analysis. I'm going to touch on I-side goals if some of the folks listening in knows what they are. That separates Sandler training from other goal-setting programs. My character goals, baseline and brass ring goals, my income objective, lifetime goals, and some mind, body, and spirit goals.
So Bob, if I'm the first time looking at this, let's assume for a second I'm not a Sandler client. It's the first time I've seen the 12 steps. Is this something that you're suggesting we follow in order, or is this a checklist of all the things that I really should be focused in on order to make sure that I've got a higher probability of success in hitting my goals?
Well, I think not only it's a great question, I think you get the proverbial answer. Sometimes we're going to follow them in order, and sometimes we won't. For example, without the number 1, there is a reason that number 1 is number 1. That your cut and paste, which is an old term, I guess Dave Sandler picked up years ago from cutting out a magazine, pasting on a board. What's your motivation? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Beyond, I want a bigger house or more money or I want a better job. I'll tap into that a little bit. To give you the second answer to your question, Dave, is some of the other things we can go in order, out of order. But I think number one has to take the cake as being number one.
So that drives the machine, right?
Bingo, exactly.
Okay. So walk us through, because the great thing that you've said, which you said casually, but I'm just going to point it out, the Sandler trainers will put themselves into the situation. I love when people say at our prospecting seminar, I'd like to see you do that. And they put on speakerphone, they make outbound calls to show them how to do the script, and people are in shock, but it's great. Yeah. You're going to do the same thing. I mean, we are congruent. We live this stuff, and you certainly are the epitome of that because you live and breathe this. So walk us through this process. I love that you're kind of opening up the kimono for us.
Yeah, fair enough. I was wondering how you were going to say that when you know my wife from back in the day. In fact, I've known you, David, longer than I've known my wife. But guys, the fact of the matter is, this is my real life, living, breathing 2016 cut and paste. And I give it a title every year. When I do my cut and paste, and that's the first few pages you're going to see, that's number one on that checklist as David referred to it. This year, I chose to use a title, Family, Friends, and Business. My second choice there, you see the second screen, Family, Family, and Family. These represent to me, guys, in case anybody's wondering, and this may put some people to sleep on the phone listening in, David, because here's what separates Dave Sandler's cut and paste program from what I seem to look at traditional goal setting programs. When I see these pictures, guys, every single one of these that I update each year has a meaning for me. I get excited. I don't know if it's politically incorrect to say this, David, but I'm a product of the 70s, and we tried to do some other things back in these to motivate us. I won't go down that tunnel, except to say this is the best pill I ever took. When I get into a slump, or why am I doing this? Why do I need this? I look at the Armenian flag. My wife's 100% Armenian. I'm 100% Irish on the right, the Northern Irish flag. I want to maintain our heritage. That maintains me doing things in the Irish and Armenian community. That's a current picture of my family at the bottom. That's within a few months last year, December. And then the picture to the left, when my kids were little, of just a few years ago, it reminded me this year that I wanted to not miss a moment of their lives. I felt like people are growing up quicker. I have a picture of a golf club on the right. I want to maintain my golf game. I know David beats me up on the golf course now and then, but I still want to play for my fun. So when I look at these pictures with family, family, and family, I get motivated every day. And it'll overcome any other problems you have in life, whether it be sickness or issues with customers. This is why I get up every day. And if we can go on, David.
Yeah, so you said the why, though. So, Bob, let's just talk just a second or two, because this step here, I think, is the step that everyone kind of just skips, right? Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Where I'm working for my family, I'm working for my kids. But the why is so important when you're trying to figure out, why am I doing this? And it's the middle of the year, or it's Friday at 2:00 and you're over 150, and you're getting beat up. So how important is the why? And have you found, when you work with your thousands of clients, that the why tends to be family oriented, or is it just a personal decision? Everyone has a different why.
Well, I think it goes without saying with another great question you're asking is, I don't know if it separates us from the animal kingdom invariably, and I don't know if it's rhetorically, but from a deep emotional attachment. I asked that question, you said thousands, I could say minimally hundreds of times over the years, possibly thousands. 95% of the answer is, I'm doing this for my family. I go, what is it about your family? For me, I like holidays. I like golf. I like eating healthier. I like sports teams. I see my kids growing up. It reminds me, guys, whether people think they need to do this, it separates goal setting from traditional putting a picture of a car up on a wall. Yeah, I want a new car. But is that really driving you emotionally? When I see these pictures, I get excited about walking around the golf course, eating healthier, as you see in the bottom of this slide.